Hi, welcome to 0 to 100 Challenge. My name is Sam. Welcome to the Sunday live show. And very sadly, today is our final episode. Now, with me today, I have a very special guest. His name is Andyn. Andyn is the owner of Strength Avenue here in Singapore. Andyn, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, thank you for having me, Sam. Hi, my name is Andyn. I'm the founder of Strength Avenue and also the head strength and conditioning coach of Strength Avenue. I do coach strength training as well as kettlebell sport lifting. Yep.
So you do a lot of powerlifting, heavy lifting stuff, right?
Yes.
Alongside with the kettlebell training, conditioning as well.
Correct.
So I think like kettlebell is definitely an up and coming sport, or you've actually been around for a long time. So tell us a little bit about kettlebells.
Okay, kettlebell is a versatile tool. Okay, so as most of us know, okay, in recent years it has gained its popularity amongst the fitness community. Okay, but prior to that, okay, they originated from Russia. Okay, so they developed a system, okay, a ranking system, okay, where they actually compete in kettlebell sport, okay, as a form of activity in the military.
And then in the military.
In the military initially, and then it transformed into something that the general public can actually do. Yes.
Okay. So, and I know that you've competed in kettlebell competitions as well, right?
Yes, I did a few years back. Okay. I've not done it for many years now, but back then I competed in countries like Australia, Hong Kong, Indonesia,
and organized them as well.
Now I am organizing it. Yes. So I'm trying to grow the sport, the interest
in Asia as well. Okay. So one of the main reasons why we've invited Andyn over here is because like when we talk about strength and conditioning, he's definitely one of the guys that I will be looking out for advice and for companionship like today. Now, before we move on to today's 0 to 100 challenge, I also don't want to take the opportunity to kind of like dig in deep about what Andyn's life is like. So you do a lot of kettlebell training, and I know a couple of years back you went to pursue like the lifting strength training certifications as well.
Yes, I went for seminars to actually gain a little bit more insight on the nuances of barbell strength training, in New York.
Okay, and tell us also about your strongman experience.
Oh, okay. Okay. You brought that up. Okay, since you brought it up, okay, so actually I'm actually an amateur strongman competitor. So I used to compete in the open categories.
Amateur doesn't mean young. No, just saying.
Okay. Alright. So back then there wasn't any weight categories, right? Okay. So you have to compete with much bigger boys. Yeah. And then fortunately, as the sport evolved, okay, they have weight categories. So that's where my last competition was 3 years ago in Malaysia, where I placed second in the under 80 kilogram category.
Congrats, amazing.
So that's one of my passion.
Okay, so coming back, this is really very much some of the reason, not all, like, and then it's specialized in kettlebell lifting, weightlifting, even got experience in strongman as well. So when it comes to 0 to 100 challenge, we've mentioned this a couple of times that it is not just about the physical challenge, but it's also about transferring this mental strength or physical strength into the mental portion and bringing it into our daily lives as well. So having a good, strong mind will allow us to get through most of the things or most challenges on a day-to-day basis, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So now we'll definitely be going through the 100 challenge today. Shall we?
That's a surprise. Okay. but
before that, right? So like we've spoke about what the 0 to 100 challenge is on the show many times. Like, let me ask you on the other hand, like, what do you think what's your first impression when I mentioned to you what the 0 to 100 challenge is all about? Apart from like, it's like 3 movements, 100 reps, but like, what's the kind of like the mental thing that came into your mind when you first hear about the 0 to 100?
Tough it is. Not only for beginners but also for advanced fitness enthusiasts as well, because like you either see it to be an uphill climb or for someone who's actually quite conditioned, you tend to be a little bit overconfident about it. So it can either make or break you, no matter whether you are a beginner or an advanced exerciser. Yeah.
So it's about managing expectation.
Yes.
Yeah. So did you train for today?
Today, no, I did not. But okay, I'm gonna accompany you, okay, and then give it a shot because I'm interested to actually see how far I can push myself today, and then maybe in 3-4 weeks time, okay, I will do another benchmark
Testing, yeah,
testing
as well.
to actually see where I am.
Okay, so just a quick recap as well, in case you missed the earlier show, we talked about baseline testing, which is very important to help us set up, figure out where it is. It doesn't mean going to 100 reps on the very first day. That is very, very dangerous and very, very risky as well. So what we did on first episode was like MREP 3 minutes to figure out where the baseline is for myself, and then today I'm going to try out the 100 and see how it goes. And then also take the opportunity to video yourself. We spoke about videoing a couple of times on this show to make sure that we have some feedback.
Yep.
But in this case, Andyn and I, we've known each other for like over 15 years in the fitness industry. So he will be my eye and I will be your eye. Yeah, so we'll be watching out for one another. And then every now and then, just like instead of just observing our repetitions or counting repetitions for us, I invite you to watch for our movement and listen to our cueing as well. So then that way, you could, through our own errors and corrections, you could also improve yourself at the same time. But however, I think the surprise over here is that due to time constraint, what I've installed for us today is to focus more on the recovery later on. So spend a little bit more time on understanding what recovery is or how important it is for challenges like this. So instead of doing all three, we'll just focus on one.
Yep.
Shall we?
Let's do it.
And which one would you want to try?
Okay.
We have push-ups, sit-ups, or squats?
Let's go for squats.
Squats?
Shall we?
Okay. We'll try squats. We'll attempt for 100 repetitions of squats. Now, before we go into it, I assume that you've already done your warm-up. If you're joining us, okay, we've done our warm-up already, so we're going to jump into it shortly. But before we actually start the clock, I just want to run through something very importantly. Like, what would your strategy be?
My strategy for
the 100 reps.
For the 100 reps, if I were to do 100 reps, right? Okay, so I'm gonna pace myself.
Not if. When?
I'm gonna pace myself. Okay, if I know that I haven't been doing at that intensity for a while, okay, I would probably be spreading them out. 10 reps to catch my breath, 10 reps to catch my breath, and then 10 reps again to see if my form is good and then what can be better in the next set of 10s. Yeah.
So the scenario over here is Andyn, it's a fitness professional, you are strong, you train regularly, but however you haven't actually attempted a 0 to 100 challenge, even though you train on a regular basis. Like you're fit and you're strong. So but we still want to be conservative. So instead of like gunning for 100 altogether, you're gonna try to pace yourself out, and your strategy is gonna be 10 sets of 10.
10 sets of 10.
Okay, so I would try as well. Now, the last time I did it, I kind of like just try to breathe through for 3 minutes, and then following on, I haven't actually been specifically training for this. Very much like you, I've been watching the pre-records and the live shows, and trying to keep up with the fitness professionals on the show as well. So I would then therefore maintain a consistent pace to finish 100 altogether.
Awesome. I'm with you. In spirit.
Okay, so let's get this started. We're going to run the clock for as fast as we can. Okay, but maintain. It's not a competition. We're just going to try. And then during the 100 repetitions, just watch out for me, please.
Yep, I will.
And I'll watch out for you as well. And then from here, I hope that you can pick up some cues and tips as well. Okay? Do you have a clock for 10 minutes running? Shall we? Okay, stand by, ready? Get ready. We'll count down from here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and let's go. Okay, so I'm just going to run through 100 reps consistently. Okay, and what I'm looking out for, you can share about yourself in a while. And it's very difficult to count and talk at the same time.
Yeah.
9. How many already?
I'm 10.
Oh, okay. Then I should be 10. I'll just keep going.
Yes.
Okay. Now, why don't you explain about like what you're looking for?
Okay, so basically, okay, depth is equally important. Okay, you don't want to go too low, or neither do you want to go too high.
20.
Alright, so you just go slightly below parallel for your squats. Okay, and then after that, just make sure, okay, your knees and your toes are actually in line. So you don't get your knees caving in while you're squatting. So that's one of the more important aspect of it. Alright, so it's my turn now to do.
30.
Okay,
Keep going.
are you at 30?
Yeah, I'm 30.
Right.
But I'll just keep moving, right?
Okay, yeah.
So I'm mentally thinking about my position to make sure that my pockets, okay, which is my hip crease, goes below my knees, and that will constitute to a good rep, and then to bring myself back up to a stand. Did you just finish 10?
Yes, I'm at 20 now.
I think I should be about 40 right now. All right, you keep going.
Okay.
Keep
All
talking.
right. So for Sam, again, another point would be maintaining a straight back. Okay. Okay. So you don't want to be squatting and then rolling forward. Okay. You want to keep as rigid as possible in the torso. Okay. There you go.
Thank
so
you.
nice and strong. So it looks very, very a very good squat. Okay. And I'm sure he'll be completing the 100 in no time. How many are you at?
61.
61. There you go. All right. I'm just buying
And the
time.
time is coming to 2 minutes.
Okay, there you go. Okay. Now my turn to do another 10.
Okay, so I'll just keep moving, and you'll be my counter. Now, so as Andyn is moving, so again, same thing what we're looking for, making sure the shoulders always on top of the heels, your toes and the heels is always flat on the ground. So you're not leaning forward, you're not leaning too far back as well. Going down to a deep squat, and then coming back up to a stand.
Yep.
Okay, so I like to use my arms in a way to counterbalance myself and also to create some form of momentum. 90.
There you go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and I'm done.
I'll do 3 more to complete 50 reps. Okay. Half of what Sam is doing. Good job, buddy.
Okay, so the time taken for me is like 2 minutes, 40 seconds, 2.5. Okay, well done. All right, so what I hope you notice is that maintain a good pace, not too fast, not too slow. A pace where you start slow but you finish strong. Don't exhaust yourself out because there's still the sit-ups, there's still
2 more challenges.
push-ups as well.
Yep.
But ideally it's actually a push-up followed by sit-ups,
Okay.
followed by squats. Okay, so we finished the squats already, so that's really easy. How do you feel after the 50 reps?
I feel a little bit breathless, okay, but not as intense as how Sam was because I paced myself. So from here, I know that I want to be doing it at Sam's pace. So I have to strategize and train for it slowly, gradually. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, so you can watch the video, re-watch the video, and observe the pace as well. So it could be I go, you go. So in this case, I've done 100 reps. So every 10 reps that I perform, you go for 10, and then I'll go for another 10, and then you go for another 10. That way you can kind of like pace yourself out.
Right.
Okay. Now, so like I mentioned, more importantly, after attempting today's challenge, is to actually understand about recovery. Okay, so what does recovery means to you?
Oh, recovery means having proper rest, okay, in terms of the amount of sleep that you get, the amount of nutrition that you get, okay, so that you can continue onto your program or exercise regime, okay, the next day or the day after. Okay?
Yeah. So what we eat, it's pretty much for tomorrow because after the body digests, the body actually absorbs the nutrients, allows us to go into recovery. So resting, sleeping is definitely part of recovery.
Yep.
Eating well is part of recovery. And one more thing that we're going to cover a little bit more today will be stretches and cool down. Because a lot of time we tend to jump into the workout, and for busy people, we tend to just like, all right, we're done. pack up, shower, and then we kind of like go. Okay, so maybe we'll run through a couple of stretches.
Yes.
All right, so what's the first stretch that you want to show
Alright,
us?
so since we are from the standing position, we get into the kneeling position.
Okay.
Okay, so this is for your quadriceps. Okay.
Okay, so we're in a high kneeling position,
Yep,
high
high
knee
kneeling.
position.
So from here, what you want to do is to just make sure you do not arch your back too much. Okay, what you want is to gradually shift the hip forward. Okay, the leg that is behind. So in my case, my right leg. Okay, to actually just push it forward gradually. Okay, and then slowly building up that stretch in that quadriceps. Okay, and then as you feel better, as it gets longer, the muscle, you can go a little bit further forward. Okay, and then just hold it there for about 8 counts, 10 counts before you switch on to the other leg.
So if you're new to movements or exercises, I'm going to take this opportunity to run through like, now it may not be very comfortable for people, for some of us, or in fact most of us, because we don't usually go into kneeling positions. To actually go into high kneeling. So there are options. The first option is that you can grab a bath towel and put it under your knees.
Yes.
Okay, in that case it will cushion the resting knee. Second thing that to point out is this, is that if you do have some form of knee issue, then therefore it's quite important to take the front foot forward a little bit more. Okay, because at the end of the day, this is not a lunge, this is like a stretch for the quads. So long as you maintain your shoulder to your hip, to your knee position, all you need to do is continue to lean forward such that the weight is actually on the front foot. So when the weight is on the front foot, it will elevate or it will reduce the body weight on the back knee, right? And then you get the same stretch at the same time. Okay, so an option for this will be kind of like a standing half lunge. Yeah, so imagine like holding onto the wall.
Correct.
I could also be doing this just to get a little bit more stretch as well.
Standing half lunge. Yep.
Okay, so we have like the front quad stretch already, the muscles, which is the primary muscles when it comes to the squatting.
Correct.
Okay, how about we do something for the glutes or the hamstrings?
Sure. Okay. For the glutes, I would like to always go into the pigeon pose.
Okay, let's try the pigeon.
It's easy. So what you want to get is to form a 90 degree. Okay, with the leg that is in front, which is the glute that you are targeting. So from here, okay, just make sure that your leg is formed in a 90 degree angle, and then if you can, you extend your rear leg, right? And then you're gonna gradually, okay, sit onto the right hip, okay. And then same thing, you're going to hold it there for 8 to 10 counts, okay? And then Sam will actually give you extra pointers, okay, which you can be aware of.
So the 8 to 10 counts over here, like you literally count slowly, not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, so just breathe. So usually in our trade, just to make it more simple, every count is like 1 deep breath, right? So it's almost like 8 to 10 breaths, and 8 to 10 breaths if each breath is done nice and slow, it's about 3 to 4 seconds. So the hold would usually easily go to about a 30 seconds hold. Okay, if you can hold it there longer, do that. Now, so Andyn put himself into a regular pigeon pose in the yoga community. We call it the yoga, the pigeon pose. So you notice like for strength training people like ourselves, we're not that flexible. So, but doesn't mean that we're not flexible. It just means that we're not that flexible. So notice like the hip is floating, and therefore it's okay, definitely fine to rest the hands on the ground. Okay, and then from there, use your body weight as the load to get into the stretch, and make sure you try to target the stretch on the right buttocks. Okay, can you point to where your right buttock is? Yeah, so that's exactly where Andyn is stretching right now. Okay, all's good. Did I miss out anything?
Nope.
Okay,
all
cool.
good. All right, maybe you want to show the last one. Okay, I remember from our fitness first days, right, that you have quite good flexibility in the hamstring. He likes to do a lot of hamstring stretches.
Okay, so like a simple common hamstring stretch could be going down to a seated position, but instead of the usual straight leg forward bend to try to get the hamstring stretch, what I usually would do is go into a knee bent seated position. And then from there, if I can hold, or if you can hold on to your toe cap, do that. or you can hold on to the base of your shoes, or simply hold on to your ankles. Right. Now from there, I'm going to use my buttocks to walk backwards to get as much stretch in as possible. Okay, so that way I'm not limited like to have a straight knee and a straight legs and then trying to go into a forward bend. Chances are we tend to feel on the lower back or feel restricted by the tummy. Okay, so in this case, going to a knee bend, foot hold or feet hold, walking back maximizes the reach and the stretch for the hamstrings. Okay, and of course you can do it one leg first and then the other, or you can do it both at the same time. Okay, again, same thing. I go with what you just mentioned earlier. Hold it for 8 to 10 counts. Breathe nice and slow. Okay, feel the stretch across the hamstrings.
Correct.
Okay, so we have the buttocks, the hamstrings, and the quads stretched out already. So nowadays we talk a lot about mobility. So what does mobility means to you?
Okay, so simply put, mobility is the ability for you, okay, or your joints to be able to hold its position at its end range for a period of time. So mobility has a lot to do with joints, okay, as compared to flexibility, which is
Agree. Yeah, so mobility is kind of like the big word, and we tend to hear a lot nowadays. So flexibility is the range of motion of the muscles. Mobility, it's actually the range of muscles of the joints, and we want to go from one big end or the end to another end as well. And the key word over here is that are usually emphasized is that pain-free. Okay, you want to maximize the range of motion of the joint, pain-free or painlessly.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
So I've got one good mobility movement, and maybe you can talk through with me and guide. Okay, so I call this the 90-90. There are various levels. The first level that we will usually go into is to go into a seated position. All right, and then with the knee bent at 90 degree here, and the knee bent at 90 degree over here. Okay, and I'll start off by sitting back.
There you go.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, and then from here you kind of try to hold it there. You can the next level you can bring yourself to a seated position, but usually I'll just kind of like start off from here. Okay, and then switch over after 8 to 10 counts. As well, don't forget your breathing, and then as you get more familiar with the movement, you can actually go into a tempo. So switch and switch.
There you go.
Okay, you've done this before?
Yep. Okay, so let me add on a little bit. Okay, since this is a good mobility drill, okay, that has a connection to the squat that he just did. Okay, so basically, okay, what it does when you are actually shifting through is to actually increase its range of motion of the hip. Okay, so that you know in the external rotation, okay, it will get stronger. Okay, and warm. Okay, for you to prepare for your squat. Remember we talked about the knees caving in. Okay, so this movement here, okay, will actually allow you to actually create space in the hips to be able to go a little bit lower without you compromising on your depth, on your form. Okay, so the drill, the 90-90 drill will help facilitate that movement, and then for you to be able to hold that knee position, okay, so that it will not cave in.
Yep, cool. Yeah, so exactly. So the whole point is that we want to go into the inside rotation or the clockwise rotation and anti-clockwise rotation of the hip socket, so that those chances of collapsing knees or knees going too far out during the squats would be improved.
Yes.
And eliminated at the same time. So just to run through very quickly. So after we've done like the leaning back version, we can go into a seated version. Okay, where you do exactly the same thing, and then challenge yourself in terms of the balancing as well.
There you go.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Got any more stretch for us?
For now, I think it's sufficient, okay, for you to actually get your recovery in, okay, after you do the squats, and then the warm up also before your squats. So yeah, I think we've covered more or less.
Okay, so we have the quad stretch or the front thigh stretch. We have the buttock stretch or the hamstring stretch, and we have a little bit of mobility for the joint socket itself. I want to run through two more things before I let you go today. All right? So the first one is mindset and mentality. So you've got so much competition experience in the strongman, in the kettlebell, not really in the powerlifting yet, right?
No.
Yeah, but the strongman is quite close in terms
Yes.
of the powerlifting. So going to your 1 rep max, how do you kind of like overcome it and then, yeah,
Okay, alright. So for 1 rep max, it's not as simple as just that one
go into a seated position.
one rep or that one particular training day itself. Okay, it's actually a build up of weeks, okay, of training. So maybe about 6 to 8 weeks, okay, to prepare myself, okay, my joints, okay, so that they are healthy when I'm performing the 1 rep max on that particular day.
Yeah,
So,
okay, I can stand now. Sorry, just now the transponder dropped off.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. Okay, so coming back,
Okay.
you were saying like it takes you 6 to 8 weeks.
6 to 8 weeks in preparation before I actually do that 1 rep. So that 1 rep will last probably about 5 seconds, 6 seconds, okay, but the work behind it, okay, the process behind it is what I enjoy doing. It teaches me a lot, not only about me when I live, okay, but my approach towards like challenges, setbacks and stuff. Yes.
Yeah. So the reason why I asked about this is because whether or not is it the 0 to 100 challenge or any other physical races or competitions or events is really more important. It's really important to focus on the journey, not so much about the 100 repetitions altogether. Okay, and then the reality, right? The reality side. Do you have injuries?
I do have a little bit of niggling injuries, okay,
Yeah. So
from
what?
all the
Those?
sports that I do. I have a little bit of knee injury, okay, nothing too detrimental. And then, but remember when I was doing triathlon back in the day, I got knocked down by a truck, okay, while I was cycling. So always wear your helmet, all right. So and then that gave me neck contusion, okay, lower back injuries every now and then, and then my shoulders as well. Yep. So that's why I'm big into mobility work, okay, recovery, so that I can still pursue, okay, whatever I intend to actually do, okay, without compromising or bringing back the injuries that I had.
Yeah, so I think the key point over here is that there will very likely often come upon physical limitations, injuries and challenges, even mental blocks that would try to stop us from attempting or even starting
Yes.
a journey. But more importantly than therefore is some of the key points that you mentioned is that we work around it and we work progressively. So if the knee problem is persistent, it doesn't improve, then work around it. Don't go into a deep squat, right? If it is because of the lack of fitness, then work progressively, starting from 20 reps to 30 reps to 40 reps to 50 reps, or even strategic progression like what you did earlier, 5 sets of 10 first, just to give it a try and then progressively improve and then work around it. So I think that those are the really important things, and baseline, that's why I want you here. Because it really is a reminder that we've all been through the same thing as well. Car crash, bike accident, various sports competitions as well, and then event hostings as well. So there will always be challenges up ahead, but what's more important is how to work around it. Okay, and then now, since you're in the strength community, right? So is there a way that we can motivate and encourage like the strength practitioner to try workouts like this?
Okay.
Because it's not common to do 100 repetition.
Yeah, it's not. But where I can see this fit in is like during our volume phase, okay? It adds volume to the movement, okay? Rather than just doing, 3-5 rep max, okay? You can actually do bodyweight exercises that will actually improve your muscular endurance as well as your cardiovascular strength, because you need that to actually recover quicker, okay, for your next set. So that's where it actually comes in. So it has its place in strength training.
Awesome. So I'm not going to let you go on that point. So you mentioned about volumized training, strength training, what absolute strength, which is like potential strength as well. So what other key factors are there when it comes to strength training, since you're here?
Mobility, that's the most neglected, because it's very time consuming and it's not as fast paced as people would like it to be, but it's actually one of the more important components in order for you to go further into your strength training routine. Yep. So mobility, I should
Cool.
say.
So if you're going to write this down, then remember, so volume training, which is repetition, is super important. We want short reps, high reps. We want strength.
Strength. Yep.
So resistant training, so different types and different levels of resistant training, that's very important.
Yep.
And then we talked about range of motion as well.
Yes.
That's very important. So incorporate these 3 simple points into your day-to-day workout and seek progression in them one at a time.
Yes.
One at a time.
Yep. So enjoy the process, guys. Just don't focus only on the end goal, but you have to enjoy the process, okay? Because that's what makes you grow, okay, literally, and also as a person. Yep.
Okay, so that's cool. Right, that's pretty much all that we have for you today, and thank you very much, Andyn, for joining us.
Thank you again.
So thank you.
Good job.
We've gone through so much, so I hope that you've gained as much as I have with you through this 0 to 100 challenge. It has been an awesome 4 weeks, and I'm very, very fortunate and very glad to be here from the very first episode to the very last episode today. So I hope you continue to challenge yourself on a day-to-day basis, and at any point of time, if you need a new challenge or if you need a reminder, all you need to do is revisit this website, check out the workouts again, revisit the workouts, try those workouts again, and make sure that you're progressing along the way. Tiny little steps, just like what Andyn says, small, tiny little steps every single day, and get through the whole entire 4 weeks again. So once again, my name is Sam, aka That Uncle Sam. I'm the owner of Fire City Gym here in Singapore. I do CrossFit, I do weightlifting, I do a little bit of track work, I do a little bit of event hosting as well, a little bit of everything. The whole idea is about diversity. And we have Andyn
from Strength Avenue. Okay, thank you very much for having me, Sam. Okay.
Thank you very much
Thank you
for
to the
being here.
viewers as well.
So take good care, and I hope to see you around very soon. Bye.